What's the weirdest rule your parents had that you didn't realize was strange until you grew up? We weren't allowed to talk at all during dinner. Having a latch on the outside of our bedroom so we couldn't get out. My dad, rather than let you outgrow things, set arbitrary ages where you would have to give things up. I was surprised my spouse didn't have a no singing at the table rule, because my sister and I were always getting in trouble for singing during dinner. Spouse told me, yeah, my family didn't need that rule. Only being allowed one bowl portion of food, anything more and you were berated. I remember when I went to a sleepover and her mom asked her if she wanted seconds and didn't call my friend degrading names because she said yes. I would needed to know where my belongings were at all times. If I misplaced anything, I got in trouble. However, I also had to know where my father's belongings were. He had ADHD and misplaced his things all the time. He would misplace things while I was at school. When I got home, he'd ask me where something of his was, pair of glasses, a hat, keys, etc. If I didn't know where he left them, I got punished for that also. I'm not sure it's exactly weird, but I grew up in a small village. There was no tap water, so people had to go to the well. As kids we were told to never come close to it as there was a monster that would grab you. Apparently that's cause in the past several kids died falling in there. My mom told me the tires would explode on the car if we left the windows down. Yap. Fart was the nastiest, rudest word one could say. Worse than fuck or bitch. Saying fart almost guaranteed a grounding or mouth washed with soap. Also no nail polish allowed to be worn in their house because only whores wear nail polish. Any shade light pink or red or whatever was for prostitutes only. So even as adults we'd usually remove polish before holiday dinners to avoid the drama. If I didn't accept my mom's Facebook game invites, I'd be grounded for a month. I remember it was the 4th of July. I was 14 or 15 walking around a neighborhood with my cousin. Was having a great time until my mom called and told me to accept her stupid ass Candy Crush thing. I told her I had deleted Facebook, and I did, and she flipped her shit, told me to come home ASAP, sent my cousin home and said I was grounded for the rest of the summer. The groundings definitely weren't as harsh as most other people's were. But still, you're yelling at and grounding your teenage daughter because she doesn't want to accept a Facebook game invite games she doesn't play on an app she doesn't use. I love my mom, but she is and always has been addicted to her phone and an absolute spaz. There was no black pepper or mustard in my house. I had no idea why until I was researching the religion I was raised in and left at 14. Turns out spicy food inflame the flesh and cause masturbation. Bland food was the key to curtailing that sin. I shudder to think what would have happened if I had access to pepper during my formative years. I might have torn that poor thing off. I didn't realize it was strange that my parents had a designated screaming pillow for when we were being too loud. I just thought all families had one. I was never allowed to close my bedroom door, ever. Making us eat everything on our own plate when someone else was choosing the serving size. As a parent I changed that right away. Not that my parents actually made me follow this rule, but I was told it's bad luck to cut your nails on Sundays. I wasn't allowed to wear jeans or any form of trouser pants except the school winter uniform pants to school only until I turned 15, and I just came back home from the mall with my cousin rocking my first pair of jeans I had ever owned, and I haven't looked back since. Moral of the story, don't be afraid to disappoint your folks, always regret how long it took me to stick up for myself. Not allowed to have friends over ever, also not allowed to go to friends' houses, even for birthday parties, etc. As I got older I figured out it was BC they had drugs and paraphernalia all over and also couldn't really commit to staying sober long enough to drop me off, pick me up, and talk to interact with other parents coherently. They were cool with scouts though. I could walk there myself and it was like free babysitting for them for an hour or two. I just never knew when I'd get picked up after lull. My aunt had a living room in her house that was completely enclosed with fancy glass doors and nobody was ever allowed to go in there. Like, not just the kids, nobody. Not even the people who lived in the house. Not even my aunt herself. This fancy display case living room was set up, the doors were closed, and to my knowledge, nobody ever went in there again. We did not talk about anything that went on at home. I was around 30 when I learned it was weird. I wasn't allowed to cry or feel angry, just be quiet and bear it.